All right, guys, so today I'm going to read for you Act 3, Scene 2 and Act 3, Scene 3. In Act 3, Scene 2, you have Juliet, who, as we talked about the other day, is waiting up in her room for Romeo to arrive. She has no idea what has happened in the previous scene where Mercutio is killed by Tybalt and then Romeo kills Tybalt and is exiled. So she is completely unaware of that. Enter Juliet alone. Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, toward Phoebus' lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west, and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy closed curtain, love-performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers can see to do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or, if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron, all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match. Played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods, hood my unmanned blood bating in my cheeks with thy black mantle, till strange love grow bold. Think true love acted simple modesty. Come, night, come, Romeo, come thou day and night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow upon a raven's back. Come, gentle night, come, loving, black-browed night, give me my Romeo. And when I shall die, take him, and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night, and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of love, but not possessed it, and though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day, as is the night before some festival, to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. So essentially here she's sitting by herself and she's talking about how she's waiting for Romeo to come. And she says, I have bought the mansion of love, but not possessed it. And though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. She's talking about being with Romeo physically. And she says she kind of feels like a little kid that has brand new clothes to wear the night before a festival, and how excited he is for that day to come. That's how excited she is to see Romeo. Enter nurse with cords. When they say cords, they mean that rope ladder that Romeo had said he would bring. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Now, nurse, what news? What hast thou there? The cords that Romeo bid thee fetch? Aye, the cords. Ay me, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands? Ah, well-a-day, he's dead! He's dead! He's dead! We are undone, lady, we are undone! Alack the day! He's gone! He's killed! He's dead! Can heaven be so envious? Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo! Romeo! Whoever would have thought it? Romeo! Notice how the way she's speaking right now, she's making it seem like Romeo is the one that's been killed. And that's, again, to build up that suspense in the story and the drama. So Juliet has no clue and thinks that it's her new husband that has been killed. What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou but I, and that bare vowel, I shall poison more than the death-darting eye of a cockatrice. I am not I, if there be such an eye, or those eyes shut that make the answer I. If he be slain, say I, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine of my weal or woe. I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark. Here on his manly breast, a piteous course, a bloody piteous course. Pale, pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood, all in gore, blood. I swooned at the sight. Oh, break, my poor bankrupt, break at once. To prison eyes ne'er look on beauty, vile earth to earth resign. End motion here, and thou and Romeo press one heavy bier. O Tybalt, Tybalt, the best friend I had, O courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever I should live to see thee dead. What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered, and is Tybalt dead? My dearest cousin and my dear lord? Then, dreadful trumpet, sound the general doom, for who is living if those two are gone? Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished. Oh God, did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood? It did, it did. Alas the day, it did. O serpent heart hid with a flowering face, did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical, dove-feathered raven, wolvish ravening lamb, despised substance of divinest show, just opposite to what thou justly seemest. A damned saint, an honorable villain! O nature, what hadst thou to do in hell when thou didst bower the spirit of a fiend in moral paradise of such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing such vile matter so fairly bound? O that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace! So here Juliet is told that Romeo's the one that killed Tybalt, and suddenly she starts to really question this man that she's just married. So she uses terms like, oh, serpent heart hid with a flowering face. So something beautiful on the outside, but on the inside is actually the heart of a snake. She says, beautiful tyrant, did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? So you'd approach that cave, it looks really nice, and you'd go in, but it would be some dragon. And this is what she's comparing to Romeo, because suddenly she's doubting everything about him. There is no trust, no faith, no honesty in men, all perjured, all forsworn, all naught, all disassemblers. Where's my man? Give me some aquavitae. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo. Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is a shame to sit, for 'tis a throne where honor may be crowned. Sole monarch of the universal earth. Oh, what a beast was I to chide him. So all of a sudden the nurse says shame come to Romeo and starts to speak poorly of him. And suddenly the loyalty that Juliet has for Romeo comes out. I don't know if that's ever happened to you before where, you know, it's okay for you to say something negative about someone, but the second somebody else does, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, no. And you start defending them. So all of a sudden she's saying like, wait a minute, you know, don't you dare be angry with him. And I was wrong to be angry with him too. Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin? Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name, when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you, mistaking, offered up to joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort. Wherefore weep I then? Some word there was, worser than Tybalt's death, that murdered me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory, like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. So here she realizes the fortune that she has, knowing that her cousin was trying to kill her new husband and that her husband is still alive. So she says that should be comforting. And she asks herself, why am I weeping then? And it's because her cousin is dead and Romeo is exiled. That banished, that one word banished, hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough, if it had ended there. Or if sour woe delights in fellowship, and needly will be ranked with other griefs, why followed not, when she said, Tybalt's dead, thy father or thy mother, nay, or both, which modern lamentations might have moved. But with a rearward following Tybalt's death, Romeo is banished? To speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure bound in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. Where is my father and my mother, nurse? So here she says that the word banished is like having Tybalt killed 10,000 times, and that Romeo being banished is equal to her father, her mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, everyone being dead. Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither. Wash they his wounds with tears? Mine shall be spent where theirs are dry, for Romeo's banishment. Take up those cords. Poor ropes, you are beguiled. Both you and I, for Romeo is exiled. He made you for a highway to my bed, but I, a maid, die, maiden widowed. Come, cords, come, nurse, I'll to my wedding bed, and death, not Romeo, take my maidenhead. Hie to your chamber, I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark ye, your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him. He is hid at Lawrence's cell. So Juliet is devastated and basically says, she's going to lie in her bed and it won't be her wedding bed anymore, but her deathbed. And the nurse comforts her by saying, listen, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find Romeo. I know he's at Friar Lawrence's cell and I will bring him here to you tonight. Gives the nurse a ring. Oh, find him, give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell. Exeunt. Act 3, Scene 3. Enter Friar Lawrence. Romeo, come forth. Come forth, thou fearful man. Affliction is enamored of thy parts, and thou art wedded to calamity. Enter Romeo. Father, what news? What is the prince's doom? What sorrow craves acquaintance at my hand that I yet not know? Too familiar is my dear son with such sour company. I bring thee tidings of the prince's doom. What less than doomsday is the prince's doom? A gentler judgment vanished from his lips. Not body's death, but body's banishment. Banishment? Be merciful, say death. For exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death. Do not say banishment. Hence from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide. There is no world without Verona walls but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death. Then banished. Is death mistermed? Calling death banishment? Thou cuttest my head off with a golden axe and smilest upon the stroke that murders me. So Romeo hears the news that he's been banished, and he says it might as well be death. Oh, deadly sin! Oh, rude unthankfulness! Thy fault our law calls death, but the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed aside the law, and turned that black word death to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not. Friar Lawrence is really upset with Romeo here. He's like, you need to be thankful. You could have been put to death, but the prince instead chose to save your life and just banish you. And you're not recognizing how fortunate you are. 'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing, live here in heaven and may look on her. But Romeo may not. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies than Romeo. They may seize on the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand and steal immortal blessings from her lips, who even in pure and vestal modesty still blush as thinking their own kisses sin. But Romeo may not. He is banished. Flies may do this, but I from this must fly. They are free men, but I am banished? And sayest thou yet that exile is not death? Hadst thou no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no sudden mean of death, thou ne'er so mean, but banished to kill me? Banished. O friar, the damned use that word in hell. Howling attends it. How hast thou the heart, being a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend, profess to mangle me with that word, banishment? Thou fond madman, hear me a little speak. Oh, thou wilt speak again of banishment? I'll give thee armor to keep off that word, adversity's sweet milk, philosophy, to comfort thee, though thou art banished. Yet banished, Hang up philosophy, unless philosophy can make a Juliet, displant a town, reverse a prince's doom. It helps not, it prevails not. Talk no more. Oh, then I see that madmen have no ears? How should they, when that wise men have no eyes? Let me dispute with thee of thy estate. Thou canst not speak of that thou dost not feel. Wert thou as young as I, Juliet thy love, an hour but married, Tybalt murdered, doting like me, and like me banished, then mightest thou speak, then mightest thou tear thy hair, and fall upon the ground as I do now, taking the measure of an unmade grave. So again, Friar Lawrence, as the mentor, is trying to help Romeo see that, like, he's really lucky. But Romeo says, you can't speak of something that you're not going through. You haven't just fallen in love and gotten married and killed someone and had to be banished. So until that happens, don't talk about it. Knocking from within. Arise, one knocks. Good Romeo, hide thyself. Not I, unless the breath of heartsick groans, mist-like, enfold me from the search of eyes. Hark, how they knock. Who's there? Romeo, arise. Thou wilt be taken. Stay a while. Stand up. Run to my study. By and by. God's will. What simpleness is this? I come. I come. Who knocks so hard? Whence come you? What's your will? From within. Let me come in, and you shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet. Opens the door. Welcome, then. Enter nurse. Oh, holy friar, oh, tell me, holy friar, where is my lady's lord? Where's Romeo? There on the ground with his own tears made drunk. Oh, he is even in my mistress's case, just in her case. Oh, woeful sympathy, piteous predicament. Even so lies she, blubbering and weeping, weeping and blubbering. Stand up, stand and you be a man. For Juliet's sake, for her sake, rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an O? Nurse! Ah, sir, death's the end of all. Spakest thou of Juliet? How is it with her? Does she not think me an old murderer, now I have stained the childhood of our joy with blood removed but little from her own? Where is she, and how doth she? And what says my concealed lady to our cancelled love? Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps, and now falls on her bed, and then starts up, and Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo cries, and then down falls again. As if that name, shot from the deadly level of a gun, did murder her, as that name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me, that I may sack the hateful mansion. Draws his dagger. Hold thy desperate hand. Art thou a man? Thy form cries out thou art. Thy tears are womanish. Thy wild acts denote the unreasonable fury of a beast, unseemly woman in a seeming man, and ill-beseeming beast in seeming both. Thou hast amazed me. By my holy order, I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself and slay thy lady, that in thy life lives by doing damned hate upon thyself? Why railest thou on thy birth, the heaven and earth? Since birth and heaven and earth all three do meet in thee at once, which thou at once wouldest lose. Fie, fie! Thou shamest thy shape, thy love, thy wit, which like a usurer aboundest in all, and usest none in that true use indeed, which should bedeck thy shape, thy love, thy wit. Thy noble shape is but a form of wax, digressing from the valor of a man. Thy dear love sworn but hollow perjury, killing that love which thou hast vowed to cherish. Thy wit, that ornament to shape and love, misshapen in the conduct of them both, like powder in a skilless soldier's flask, is set afire by thine own ignorance, and thou dismembered with thine own defense. What? Rouse thee, man! Thy Juliet is alive, for whose dear sake thou wast but lately dead. There art thou happy? Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slayest Tybalt. There art thou happy? The law that threatened death becomes thy friend and turns it to exile. There art thou happy? A pack of blessings light upon thy back. Happiness courts thee in her best array. But like a misbehaved and sullen wench, thou poutest upon thy fortune and thy love. Take heed, for such die miserable. Go, get thee to thy love, as was decreed. Ascend her chamber, hence, and comfort her. But look thou stay not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live till we find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back with 200,000 times more joy than thou wentest forth in lamentation. Go before, nurse, commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming. So Friar Lawrence really puts him in his place here and says to him, like, you need to be happy in the situation that you're in because things could have gone much worse. And so he tells him, go see Juliet, go up to her room and comfort her. But he tells him, do not stay until morning, because if you do, you're not going to be able to cross the border of Verona into the town of Mantua, which is where he's going to stay until the friar thinks they can kind of use time as an advantage to make things right again. So he tells the nurse, head back to your house, make sure everybody goes to bed. Romeo's on his way. Oh, Lord, I could have stayed here all the night to hear good counsel. Oh, what learning is. My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come. Do so, and bid my sweet prepare to chide. Here, sir, a ring she bid me give you, sir. Gives Romeo Juliet's ring. Hi, you make haste, for it grows very late. Exit nurse. How well my comfort is revived by this. Go hence, good night, and here stands all your state. Either be gone before the watch be set, or by the break of day disguised from hence. Sojourn in Mantua. I'll find out your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances here. Give me thy hand. 'Tis late. Farewell, good night. But that a joy past joy calls out to me, it were a grief so brief to part with thee. Farewell. So once again, Friar Lawrence reminds him to be gone by morning and get to Mantua. And he says, I'm going to find your servant for you, and he will come and update you on what's happening here in Verona. And so Romeo leaves. The end.